Maximizing this. Okay. So from the previous slides or previous charts or previous flow charts we have seen, there is lots of time we have written a ETL on, arrow is there on top of that ETL. This kind of keyword was mentioned over there. So mainly from the beginning of the session, when we are loading the source data to the target or maybe in the staging area, where putting that kind of arrows, and on top of this arrow ETL is written over there. Okay, so what is ETL? Let me just quickly show once more time. I'm just opening BI day 1. This is BI day 1 topic. Okay, just like this one, we can see from the OLTP system there is a thing called ETL. It's loading the data from source side to target. Now what is ETL? ETL means it's a tool, you can tell it. What it's doing, it's E for extract, T for transform, L for load. So it's extracting the source information from the source system. Maybe the data can be retrieved from the source system. It will transform the data as per the business requirement, and it is loading the data at the target side. Means in data warehouse. I found someone joins. Yeah, hi Mohana. Mohana, you have joined for previous classes, correct? I can recall your name.
Yeah, I joined SQL class, I think, in ranking at the time.
Okay, you joined SQL class. Okay, so
Yeah.
we are now in business intelligence class. 2 days has been covered. This is the third day
Okay.
of business intelligence, and so if you want anything in details, you can find the things in recordings. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
just go through the recordings. Otherwise, the things will a bit.
Okay.
If you have already experienced, then there will be no issue. But if this is the first time you are just doing this thing, then a bit stacking point should be there, but just go through the previous 2 days recording for business intelligence. Then the concept should be clear.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay. Yeah.
we'll be just going to teach the ETL thing today. ETL is extract, transform, load. It will be extracting the information from source system. It will be transferring the data, and it will be loading the data warehouse. But this cannot be done in a single step. Let me show you a good architectural diagram. Okay, this one. So over here, the blue color arrow, those kind of thing are working as the ETL tool. So from the source system, we are not directly loading by a single ETL job from source to target data warehouse. Rather, in step by step, first we are loading the data to staging area. Okay, from different source system, all the source systems data are being populated in a single staging area. It's called the stage layer. Okay, so data are staged over here by this ETL tool. After that, we are putting this kind of operation, means we are cleaning the data. There may be lots of unclean data because we are taking lots of different source systems. Each of the source systems should be having their own convention to store the data at the source side. So that is why in the stage area, whatever data we are receiving from different source systems that are not cleaned in nature. So first of all, we need to clean the data. Then we need to transform the data as well. Okay. And after transformation is completed, we need to put suitable aggregation summarization or aggregation functions. In SQL, we learned how we can do the grouping by stuffs and all. So all the things are available in the ETL. So in the ETL tool itself, we will be doing those aggregation functions on top of data where it is required. Okay. So when our data is ready, then we have to push or load our data to data warehouse or data marts. Okay, so all this blue color thing are been utilized by ETL tool. They're loading the data from source to target. Okay, so that thing I has covered in the first day's lecture. So I'm just closing that particular PPT. I'm just going to the second PPT once more time. So over here, you can also see how we are loading the data from source to target. Those are the different phase of the ETL. Okay, just like I told, loading, cleansing, converting means transforming, and then load. Extract, cleansing, transformation, load. Cleansing should be coming under transformation. Extract means extracting data from source. In transform, we are doing the cleanse operation as well as converting data. Okay, so this is the thing in ETL. Now, in the ETL, the main things we are doing extraction. So we are extracting the data from the source system. So there are two different way we can extract the information from the source system. One is called full refresh. One more quick concept, just I want to provide in ETL. So as per the previous diagram, let me open. Okay, I just close it. Let me open once more time. So why ETL tool is being used? Just to let me know, let you know, OLTP system is a source system where we are receiving the data. So we are presenting the information in the dashboard layer. Okay, so suppose the in the OLTP system, suppose this is I can tell it's in the banking and finance industry, BFS industry. I am consolidating, I'm getting all the new data into OLTP system daily basis. Okay, so today I have received 1 million information from a particular banking branch. Okay, the informations can be on top of credit, that can be on top of debit, maybe other things as well that is involved in the bank. So daily basis, new records are coming over here. Whatever transactions are being occurred in 2 days, the entire day, at the end, I am receiving all the new source records over here. Okay. By ETL tool, all the records are being populated in data warehouse because we need to analyze the data, how the data is, how much progress we have done from the previous years or previous days compared to today's. So that is why ETL is responsible for the data load from source system to target so that my data warehouse is always updated or refreshed with the current data. Data warehouse, as I mentioned, data warehouse, it will be containing the previous historical data. Adding with that daily basis ETL tool will load the data. Whatever data are coming over here, it will be loading it over there. So that our data warehouse tables and all, data warehouse is nothing but a database over here. So that should be refreshed with all the tables should be refreshed with the latest records and all. So ETL is responsible for all this thing. Now going to the present day topic. So while loading the data, not for loading, actually I'm focusing on extracting. While extracting the data from the source system, it can be doable by two methods. As of now, I'm focusing on two methods. First method is called full refresh and second method is called incremental. So what is full refresh? Suppose I want the data to be loaded from the source system. All the data should be loaded, taking from the source system. Okay, suppose I have received 400 records. So I have an estimation daily basis, I can get an average of 400 records from the source systems. Okay, it may occur that whatever data I have get from the source system, okay, it may be a scenario that daily basis, whatever data I'm receiving at the source system, it's got appended over there. Okay, just I want to say the source system is also maintaining the historical information there. Okay, so for this kind of scenario, we can go ahead with the full refresh. Full refresh means I'm taking in the ETL tool, it's taking all the data from the source systems and pushing it to target. This is one way of data extracting. But before that example, I have given you some examples in the banking and finance industry. Their daily basis, the transactions levels are very high, nearly 1 million. Okay. For this kind of data, if we are going ahead with the full refresh daily basis, I'm assuming the source systems are also uh, having the historical data. Okay, so for this kind of scenario, if we daily basis do the full refresh, suppose today there is 1 billion of records, tomorrow there is 1 billion plus one more million. So this kind of data volume will be getting increased at the source systems. So for that thing, if we are just going ahead with the full refresh daily basis, it will take lots of times to be completed. The job will be running and running, the ETL job will be running, and it should be taking much more time. So for this thing, we will be going ahead with the incremental data load. Means whatever new data I am receiving at the source OLTP system, only that thing should be captured and extracted. Okay, so those are the two things. Full refresh means taking the full data set from the source systems and pushing it to target. And from the incremental data load, it's taking all the data, not all the data, it's taking the incremental data. That means it's also called a delta load. So whatever data I have received till today, I'll not be taking this thing because it's already there in the target systems. So I'll only analyze the extra records, what I have received only for today. So that will be pushed to the target. Target will handle it with some different loading strategy. I'll be just telling this thing in next slide. Okay. So from the source side, those are the two important things. Okay. While loading the thing at the target side, we can have this three operation. So if we just go ahead with the full refresh that I already mentioned in the previous slide, so the target should be truncated and load. So we have the target tables available. If we just go ahead with the full refresh, the full data should be coming at the target, but the full data should not be appended into the target because target is already having some records which have been loaded from the previous day's data loading by ETL tool. So for that reason, we need to truncate the table first. Means truncating, we have already covered what is truncate. I'll be deleting all the records from the target table first, and then after a full extraction, whatever data is there, I'll be just pushing all those data into the target table. It's called the truncate load. It should be appropriate things for full refresh extraction method. Okay. So for full refresh at the target side, it should be truncate load. Now for the incremental extracting part, when we will be push those records at the target side. Incremental means I just took the delta records, means whatever new records I have received from the source system by the ETL tool. When I just going to push the same thing, that can be either insert method or that can be update insert method, or in short form I can also tell this upsert method. Okay, so what is insert method? Insert method, it will insert the new records. What are the new records available over there? It will only push those records, okay, at the target site. So suppose I have received 8 new records, or okay, I have received 200 new records. So I'll just push all those 200 new records to the target. So whatever data it was there, historical data it was there at the target, it was fine. All those new records should be entered into different rows to the target table. So that is insert data loading. Especially we can follow this thing for SCD type 2. What is SCD type 2 dimensions? I have showed you. It's mainly for dimensions. So it was been covered in last session. So please go ahead with that thing. What is update insert? Update insert means we will be following this kind of logic. It's a very important logic. So while doing the delta load, we can see, so for the incremental data load, some of the records we can see it's getting updated. Based on a primary key, I can see some of the records got updated and some new records are being inserted. Okay. So our target system will determine this thing, which are the records which are already been existing records are getting updated. So I need to update the same records from the historical data. So I'll not insert those data as per a new record convention. So my target system will determine this thing. This is an existing records. So I'll only update the records, will not increase my row count on top of this update records. Okay. And for inserting whatever new records are received from the source system, that will be definitely inserted. So update and insert, it's called upsert. Update is it's applicable for all the existing records whose primary keys are same, but the other columns are getting updated. So for that thing, I'll be going ahead with update strategy. And the new records means new primary key has been entered, maybe new employee ID has been entered in the employee table, the source systems. So the same thing should be loaded at the target system. So all those employee IDs should be entered in the target. It's called insert. So update insert is a single strategy where we'll be following this thing. Okay. So those are different data extract and data loading strategy at the target. Any doubt till now from anyone? Jayaprakash, Mohana. Jayaprakash, I think you already have this experience, so I think there'll be no doubt. But
Yeah, it's clear actually.
okay. Mohana, Mohana Krishna, if you are facing any issue or anything, kindly stop me and ask me questions. Okay. Okay. Moving to the next
Actually,
slide.
I
Yeah,
don't have
tell
a
me.
real-time experience in all this stuff, but I'm just familiar with these topics. That's all.
Okay, you have you do not have any work experience on top of
No,
ETL
no, I
tools.
don't. No, I don't have any work experience, but I'm familiar
Okay.
with these topics. So that's all.
Okay. So I'm just
Yeah.
brushing up. So those kind of thing is really been helpful. Even while covering the Python. Now I'll be coming to this topic, so that should be helpful. So what are the different ETL tools? I think you might have heard of these things as well. So those are different ETL tools available in the market. The product vendor is called Informatica. The candidate products are Power Center. Okay, Power Center is a ETL tool. There is Informatica. There is also some cloud-based tools are available. Okay, so this is also a new important tool from Informatica. It's called IICS. From IBM, there is DataStage. From Ab Initio, the candidate product is the same naming convention. From SAP, this is the thing. Cognos Decision Stream. It's a very old tool. I think it's been obsoleted as well. Okay. So those are the different ETL tools available in different generations in the market. So companies are using this kind of tools for their ETL data loading from source to target. Okay. And there is Talend as well. Talend is one of the important ETL tool. But the thing is, all those kind of ETL tools, they're loading the data from source to target, but those are having high licensing cost. Okay. So if you are just taking their service and they are selling the license to the particular company while using that particular tool. So that is why some of the teams or some of the company, they are building their own ETL framework. So nowadays what they are doing, they're using some cloud components, maybe in AWS, maybe in Azure. Okay, they're taking help of the language driven framework, maybe by Python. They're using Python. Python is an open source language. They're creating a framework based on Python, and they're using the same framework to load the data from source to target. Okay, so when the framework is ready, they can able to load this thing with various process. So we will be learning this thing as well. While learning Python, we will be using Python in a particular day. I'll be showing this thing, how Python can be used as a ETL tool. We will be extracting information from a source system. We will be transforming the same thing, and we will be loading the data at the target site. So while using Python, we can demonstrate that particular thing for a particular session, I mean particular day or particular 2 days. So that is been already been reserved into the schedule. Okay. So that is the concept of ETL tool. ETL tools means you can also tell these things individual date. I mean, if I'm loading a table from source to target, that kind of things I can represent the thing as a job, ETL job. So and we need to schedule the job in a particular time. Suppose my business user, they know what is the closing time of the business, and after closing of the time of the business, no other transaction will be coming to the OLTP systems for that day's data. So after that, they will be confirm a particular time, a suitable time at which I can trigger my ETL jobs. Okay, so I can schedule my ETL jobs at that particular time. So daily basis or maybe hourly basis, based on the totally, it's based on the project requirement. My ETL jobs will run at that particular schedule, maybe in incremental load, maybe in full refresh strategy. So whatever strategy I have imposed on the ETLs, that should be there, and that should be loading the data from source to target. It's at the business side, maybe at the data warehouse side. Okay. So that is how ETL tool is responsible to refresh the data at the data warehouse. Data warehouse means all the fact and dimension tables at the target site. Why we are refreshing it? Because I want to make it ready for the next step. What is the next step? Next step is this one. So when my data warehouse is ready, there is a layer called reporting. So on top of this data warehouse layer, the visualization teams are creating charts and graphs in various tools called Tableau, called ClickSense, called Power BI. So they're designing suitable graphs and charts by which, I mean, it is been presented in front of the decision maker or the business analyst, or the particular strategy owner. They will be checking those charts and graphs, and they will take the decisions, or they will check the strategy for the next day's business planning. Okay, so data warehouse data should be refreshed because all the charts and graphs should be capturing, or it should be based on the latest data available on the data warehouse. So that is why when the data warehouse data is present or been refreshed, then the next layer job should be refreshed as well. The next layer job will just consume all the new data available in data warehouse to their own reporting tool. Okay, so that is the concept we need to go through. So in reporting layer, what are the important aspects? That thing I'll be just covering now. The first thing is called key performance indicator. So in the reporting layer or reporting dashboards, we're creating those charts and graphs. Each charts and graphs are responsible for representing a particular KPI. KPI, the full form of KPI is called key performance indicator. Maybe my user tell me to present a chart such a way so that I can see the quarterly revenue earned for that particular company. So what kind of charts and graphs I can implement? So I can create a line chart. In the x-axis of the line chart, it can be different quarters available, maybe from last 5 years. I'm putting all the quarters value and in the x-axis, and in the y-axis I'm putting revenue. If I draw a line chart, how it should be looking like? So this is representing a particular KPI. Okay, it's just checking the revenue growth quarter by quarter. Okay, so it's called a KPI. KPI is nothing but, we can tell it as key performance indicator, means the how we can increase our performance. Based on that, we can determine the KPI, and the same KPI needs to be handed over to visualization team when they'll be developing the charts and graphs. Okay, suppose I am a business architect. Okay, or I'm a technical architect. Business can give me only the particular KPI name. Business can tell, I need the visualization dashboards. Tool should contain these graphs. They will not tell what should be there in x-axis, what should be there in y-axis. Maybe there are lots, not only one dependent variable, one independent variable. There may be 2-3 dependent variables. 2-3 independent variables, one dependent variables. So we need to find suitable chart for this thing. So that is why user can only say the particular KPI to us. Us means the visualization engineer. When we received all the informations, then we should have to go through these KPIs and we need to build the particular charts and graphs. Okay. And there is some more topics, points on top of KPI. It's a visualization cue that communicates the amount of progress made towards a goal. Okay. Critical metrics for measuring the performance of the business. Measures in line with the company's strategic and operational goals. Helps to visualize the performance of the company. Visualize means by these charts and graphs, we can visualize the performance. Helps decision makers in an organization to take intelligent decisions based on patterns and trends on the data. Okay, and the KPI can be quantitative or qualitative indicators. I have few of the examples of the same in the next slide. So just like I mentioned that KPI can be quantitative. So what is the thing? Just like sales growth. Maybe they can create a chart which can help me to understand the sales growth. Quarterly revenue. I already mentioned this kind of KPI a few times ago. Followers growth. For qualitative KPI, it should not contain any measures value. Just like customer satisfaction. So in the shopping mall, after shopping is completed, sometimes you can see there are LED screens have been displayed. Based on each of the billing information, they are asking for a particular satisfactory index to be provided there. How many stars I'll be recommending for the particular employees' behavior, for particular products. Choice. How many new styles of products are arrived. Based on that, those things, they're creating lots of bullet tabs or just like this, where we need to put the particular satisfaction index. So that is why we are collecting the satisfaction index in the data, so that we can grow our business a lot more top of that. So that is how it's called the customer satisfaction. This can be also been represented in a KPI side. Product quality, service quality. So those are all different qualitative KPI. Okay. Moving to the next slide. So when we are aware of the KPI, we can create those kind of charts and graphs. So this is called a bar charts. I just have a quick demonstration. In the tool, when we are designing it, it should be looking like in this manner. So you can see over here, two particular dimensions are being represented in the x-axis. One dimension is different zones availability, and another dimension is different year. We have grouped it based on zone. Okay, each zone is having 3 color code. Each color code is representing 1 year. So in x-axis, there are two variables, or we can call those variables dimensions. What are dimensions? In fact, that is already covered in last 2 days. So if there is any doubt or any stuck point, please go through this thing once more. That should be clarify your understanding. So you can see each there are 2010, 11, 12 data, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, and those things are grouped based on each zone. And the revenues are displayed in y-axis. Okay. So this kind of charts and graphs should be presented in the dashboard. Okay. This is one of the important aspect called pivot or pivot. So what we are doing, we are doing nothing but we are transposing the entire data set. This is another kind of data representation. Pivot table or cross tab. You can also tell this thing as cross tab in the visualization tool. If you're doing nothing but we are transposing the matrix, whatever there in the column side, it's been transposed to row, and the row thing has been transposed to column. Based on our design requirement, if this kind of data requirement is there, we want year to be represented as a dimension in the x-axis and in particular row value, then we need to really convert it. But there is no matter if we increase the column length, column number, then we can go ahead with this thing. Based on the business requirement, we can go ahead with these topics. Okay. Few terminologies I'll be just mentioning while doing this kind of visualization thing. One is called slice and dice. What is this? Slice is slicing the data set. Over there, this is the full data set. I'm representing these things. It's a 3D bar plot. Over there, we are also mentioning 2 dimensions in x-axis and y-axis. And in z-axis, we are representing the measures value, the sales value. Over here, based on different cities, I'm capturing the data in x-axis. Through y-axis, it's different year. Okay. Now, what is slice and dice? In the visualization dashboards, there should be some filter in UI. User interface filter can be there on top of maybe year, on top of city. I can choose any one of them. From city, suppose I haven't chosen anything. From year, I have chosen 2009. So this is called slicing. If I slice based on one particular filter or one particular dimension, it's called slice. Okay, so you can see I just slice on 2009 year, but I haven't sliced any of the city. So slice means just to filter out only one dimensions value. Dice means if we just update both of the filter, the same data set I have chosen few of the cities and 2 particular year. So this is called dice, slice and dice. These are few terminologies, nothing but the terminologies. Okay, there is concept called roll up, drill down. We can create hierarchical dimensions for that thing. Suppose over here you can see here is a simple report for table report we can call over here. You can see ERCT at y-axis. ERCT Delhi, Chennai. The data has been inserted in this manner. So if we just click on top of that, if the particular thing is hierarchical dimension, then there can be hyperlink available over there. If we just click on 2013, all the 2013s below hierarchical dimension should be expanded. So you can see I double click on top of that, the things have been expanded in this manner. I clicked on that, it's expanded on top of months. Okay, a similar kind of thugs. I can just convert the same chart into bar chart, and a similar kind of thing should be happening over here as well. Okay, so those are different, I mean, it's called drill down. We are drilling it down at the lower granular dimension level, and the vice versa thing is called roll up. Okay, rolling up means this thing from the lower hierarchical level to higher hierarchical level. Okay, so this is the terminology is called roll up and drill down. Okay, so what are the different visualization tools are available in the market? Tableau, Cognos, Power BI, Click. So those are important tools which are available in the market. Okay, so now onwards, people are taking any of the visualization tools and they are just enhancing these competencies on top of that, and they're creating charts and graphs based on the data on data warehouse by those visualization tools. Yeah, that's all for this session. So we have learned what is ETL and what is visualization tool. Based on that, data engineers are working. They are loading the data from source to the extreme dashboard level, extreme right hand side. It's a dashboard level. ETL is just pushing data and updating data from source to the target database, that is the data warehouse. When data warehouse is ready, the visualization tool will refresh the data from the target data warehouse to the extreme target, it's the dashboard side. Okay, so that's all as of now. So any doubt from anyone till now? Any stuck point? Anything?
No.
Okay. Okay, then from the next day onwards, Monday we'll be having a new session on top of Python. Okay, one more thing in the visualization tools, the same kind of thing I just mentioned. Python is being used as a ETL tool. Python can be also used as a visualization tool as well. There are lots of libraries are available to use that thing, to use or the visualization technique on top of Python's data. But I'll be requesting all of you to have the recording from the admin team. They have the link available. I used to hand it over this kind of, when the recording is over, I'll be just handing this thing to one of the admin member. They used to upload the same thing in some YouTube links, and whenever it's required, you can ask them. They will be providing the same thing to you. Okay. Okay then.
Yes, okay. But I have one question. Like in Python, how you're gonna teach it? Like, is it a hands-on session, or like we'll be teaching it from scratch? I mean, from
Yeah,
very
it should
basic.
be starting from scratch only.
Okay.
Okay.
So you'll be
So
teaching
first 2
definitions
or
and all.
3 days it should be totally basic. And as our course is focused on data engineering, so we'll be focusing after that. After 2 or 3 days, we'll be learning each of the individual things. What is very much required for the data engineering perspective. So that should we'll be
Okay.
learning. After that, we'll be focusing maybe on Python Pandas. Pandas is one of the important libraries used for data
Right.
engineering purpose only. So we'll be using Pandas. We'll be creating data frames. And after creation of the data frames, we'll be going ahead the data manipulation steps. So
Okay.
the rest
So
of the course should be Pandas. Matplotlib should be there for 1 or 2 days for data visualization purpose. So those things will be learned.
okay. So you'll be working on any particular like project? You consider any kind of project for this thing, or you're gonna just go through the top topics?
Sorry, you're talking about myself, whatever I'm working,
Yeah.
or yeah, I'm
Yeah.
working.
I mean,
I have the ETL experience. Okay, so based on that, you might have heard that maybe if we are just going ahead with searching for jobs, so there are two kind of stuffs we can go ahead as of now. As per the things, we can be a ETL developer or a support member of ETL, or we can be a visualization engineer who can create charts and graphs on top of data warehouse. Especially the analytics person can do these things. Okay, So I am working
Okay.
as a ETL developer. I'm working some on top of big data tool. Okay. And
Okay.
there is a database for Snowflake. I'm also doing some Snowflake SQL part. So Snowflake developer as well. So this is my
Okay.
thing. I'm just working for 7 years in industry, 7 to 8 years, 8 years almost on top
Okay.
of this topic. So the same thing I was showing to you. At first, I have also worked on top of visualization engineer as well. So the data is in front of me. I'll be creating charts and graphs based on business requirements. So both of the things I have the experience. So I'm
Okay.
just going to give the same knowledge to you so that you have the basic knowledge. But in depth, if you just want to go, you should be having some project experience because the tools hands-on. Maybe you want a Power BI expertise. You want to be a Power BI expertise. So you need to install the Power BI thing, which is, I mean, I think you can get a trial version for 30 days. So if the admin wants that thing to be included in the course, yeah, definitely we can also include the thing. But
Actually,
as of
instead
now,
of
this is the plan.
okay, instead of going for trial one, we can use Power BI desktop, I guess. That will be
Yeah,
free.
Power BI desktop is also there. Can use that thing
Yeah.
as well.
And I was asking about the Python course that you'll be teaching from the next week. So, like, will you consider any project working on Python, or you're just going to explain topics in Python?
No, no. After convert, I mean, this thing for Python learning, we'll be just giving some exercise. The exercise is based on the ETL. Okay. So I'll be giving
Okay.
some source system. You have to load the data from source system to the target. Target should be a
Okay.
database. Okay. So this kind of thing. I'll be showing
Okay.
this thing in the hands-on part as well. So I'll be also giving this kind of exercise so that the thing is also understandable or doable by your side as well. So this kind of
Okay.
exercise I will be covering up over there during learning the Python steps.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that's all as of now. Let's connect on Monday to have our session on top of Python. Okay. Thanks. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Bye everyone.